Another fake trailer from 2007's Grindhouse turns into a real movie with Eli Roth's new film, Thanksgiving. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Thanksgiving. This is still playing in theaters right now, but hopefully will soon be available for at-home viewing as well via either streaming or on demand or what have you. But for now, you can still catch it in some theaters. And this is another one of these fake trailers that they made for 2007's Grindhouse that has now been made into a feature film. First, we had Machete, and then there was another one I was unfamiliar with called Hobo with a Shotgun. That came out in 2011. But Eli Roth did this trailer for Thanksgiving, and now it has become a real movie. So before we launch into the specifics here in the film, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. Movie and TV reviews is the name of the game here on Dan Reviews It, and just about every day I try to post something new. So always a lot to check out. Please consider subscribing below, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, do all that stuff, and it helps the channel out, so would appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about this movie. This is not necessarily my kind of film. Eli Roth is a bit too intense for me sometimes, and certainly I had to look away a number of times in this movie. However, luckily, me and my two buddies saw it. We were the only ones in the theater, so my very loud reactions to some of the shots, we were able to deal with that without having people around. Otherwise I would have stifled myself, but it would have been tough because there were a lot of like gotcha moments of just gore that I was not exactly expecting in that moment. But let me tell you about the plot a little bit. So this takes place in a small New England town being terrorized by a killer in a John Carver mask right around Thanksgiving. In fact, it takes place at first on Thanksgiving night into Black Friday. One of the lead characters owns a like Walmart, a big box type store, and decides to have his friends and relatives over or whatever, but he says, oh, you know what, we got to leave early because Thanksgiving night means big savings on the Black Friday sales at the store. And from there we have some trampling and people getting killed and whatnot, people getting wounded, and so as revenge for what happened that night, we have on the next Thanksgiving John Carver, coming out of the woodwork and just killing everybody. So John Carver, of course, a real person, from back in the Pilgrims era. But the main stars, I guess you could say, that you would know, certainly Patrick Dempsey, he plays the sheriff. Addison Rae, you might know, and then Milo Manheim, I've seen him in a lot of things. He plays one of the boyfriends. And who else is in this? Nell Verlake, don't really know her. Jalen Thomas Brooks, Rick Hoffman, Gina Gershon, she's in it briefly as well. So look, Eli Roth, I missed his Hostel movies. That was not part of my deal, and it was before I was watching like all the movies that came out, so just never had any interest in that. But I did watch The Green Inferno, which was intense for sure. Definitely some gore moments. That was more about cannibalism though than it was about straight ahead gore. So this is, look, it's a typical slasher film. It makes sense that this would have been a trailer in Grindhouse, 15 years ago, because yeah, it really carries that sort of 70s vibe with it, and I appreciate it for that. There's a lot of real deal, realistic effects, practical effects. There's not really, CGI in this movie. We're really doing what they did back in the day, and the look of it as well is very retro, and not in a bad way, and not in a, oh, this looks like kind of shoddy. No, it just has kind of that vibe of a classic like 70s, early 80s slasher. And so I will give it props for that, and I will give it props for some of the plot and the sort of diversion and mystery element of, okay, who is the killer? because at several different points in the movie, like I said, I was by myself with my friends in the theater, so we were allowed to talk a little bit, and so several different times in the movie we're like, oh, okay, that person's got to be the killer. Oh, no, it's that one. And so I was definitely right on some of the things I said, but also a bit of misdirection, and I was out of my league in other areas. But two huge problems I have though with this movie. One is it does take place in the present day, but we are supposed to believe, I guess, that these Black Friday, trample shopping experiences still happen. This is an element of 10, 15 years ago, which I guess makes sense with the original trailer being from 2007 in Grindhouse, but these days, most people are shopping online, so we don't really have a lot of the, people trying to bust into the gates of a store on Thanksgiving night or Black Friday morning. We just don't see that anymore. So definitely have to suspend a little bit of disbelief for that portion. But then also, I really did not like how this movie ended. And without going into spoilers, I can't really talk too much about why, but I think the movie plays its hand a bit, and then I think does not go far enough with that, because there's certain things throughout the movie that don't quite add up if the ending is to be taken at face value. And so I would have liked to see a little bit more with the ending. And again, I can't really go into why because of spoiler territories, but that was something that definitely brought the movie down a little bit for me. But look, some really great practical effects here. Like I said, I liked the mystery element. I had fun watching it, even though I did have to turn away probably more than I would like to in a movie. But I had a good time watching it. And look, it helps that the two friends I went with are into this kind of like, B horror movie kind of thing, slasher movies of days gone by. So it was fun to watch with them. And of course, one of them said, their favorite part of watching the movie was my reactions to some of the more gory moments. But in any event, look, this was a fun hang for sure. It's still available in some theaters. Hopefully, they'll coming to on demand very soon. But wanted to get this review up while it was still in some theaters. I leave Thanksgiving with a C+. I really wish they would have stuck the ending a little bit better. But all right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.